Hi, third grade. Today we are going to discuss the opinion writing checklist, something you may have heard me talk about as a rubric that I dropped off in the packets this weekend. This rubric is going to be really handy to help you as you're publishing this week your final opinion essay, to make sure that you use all of the great parts of an opinion essay that you've learned with me. Okay, so if you got a packet from me, go ahead and pull out the opinion writing checklist, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, third graders, if you do have the opinion writing checklist, this is what it will look like. If you don't have it, no sweat. We're going to go through it right now, and you can just pause this video as you're writing, and it can help you. Make sure you include all of the parts of an opinion essay. So let's get started first with purpose and organization. Remember, a reader as well as a writer always starts by asking, what is the purpose? What was the author's purpose in writing this? Or what is my purpose in writing? And we know that the purpose is to persuade. So we are going to start with the introduction. The introduction clearly stated the opinion and 3 supporting arguments. Now, did you see that? It says 3. What I want you to start doing is adding a third argument, a third supporting argument, or a third detail to prove why you feel the way you do. How can you support your opinion in a third way? You have been writing 2, so for the paper you're going to publish this week, you're going to go back and add 1 more paragraph. So instead of a 4-paragraph essay, you're taking it up a notch to a 5-paragraph essay. You're then going to talk about the body. The body should have, now remember, the body is everything in between the introduction and the conclusion. The body should have 3 paragraphs, 1 paragraph for each supporting argument. So if I, for instance, have written an essay about why cats are the best pet, I think they are. And I've listed 2 supporting details, 2 supporting arguments to prove why I think cats are the best. Before I publish, I'm going to go back and add 1 more paragraph talking about 1 more reason that I think cats are the best. Now, many of you have already done that. You've already added 3 supporting paragraphs, which blew me away. Great job, third graders. After you have your introduction and 3 paragraphs in the body, you're going to work on your conclusion. Remember, a conclusion should restate an opinion and supporting arguments in different ways. You have to say your opinion again, and you need to restate your reasons for believing what you believe, believing what your opinion is, but you need to do it in a new and interesting way. And the last thing on the purpose and organization is transitions. 3 or more different transition strategies. Now, we have not talked about that yet. We have talked about it in other writing. We call those transitions temporal words. So we're going to make sure we're using at least 3 temporal words or phrases. And we'll have a lesson all about temporal words and phrases, I believe, Wednesday of this week. The next part of your checklist is evidence and elaboration. To elaborate means to add detail. So I want to talk first about this box on citation. Citation is when you are using evidence from a text in your writing. Had we been in school, this would look a little bit different. I would have given you essays on the topic that you're writing about, and you would have had to use those details in your paper. For now, you do not have to cite in your essay. You do not have to cite other people's arguments. Don't draw an X through it because you will need it later on next week. But for this week, for your published paper, I'm just going to put a little X right there to know that I'm not going to need that this week. Now, reasoning. See how they have it? 1, 2, 3. Reasoning is convincing arguments, at least 1 contradictory opinion followed by your counter argument. You are not going to need to do this, So go ahead and draw with a pencil a line through that. Don't make it too thick, you will need it later, okay? You're not gonna need that right now. But you do need convincing arguments, and you need 3 of them. So write a 3 by that, okay? And then voice. 2 or more hooks. Remember, a hook is something that gets the reader excited to read. And a variety of words and sentences. This is where you don't want to use the same sentence structure for every sentence. So for instance, I don't want to say, cats are the best pet, and they're really loyal, and they like their owner, and they sleep all day. I'm using the same sentence structure the whole time. I want to use a variety of words and sentences, and we'll talk more about that later this week also. Then conventions. Now, conventions are the things we edit for. Grammar and organization, spelling, and readability. So we want to make sure we're writing in complete sentences, which we've been talking about a lot, that we use capitalization, punctuation, and definitely have finger spaces, and that there are spaces between paragraphs. And we've been talking a lot about how when one paragraph is over, you come down and skip a line. Spell check. I do not expect that all of your words are spelled exactly right, but I do expect them to be spelled how they sound. Remember to stretch out your words. So that's what I want you to write right here. Stretch. And then readability check. It's gotta be neat. So these are the guidelines that we're going to use this week to help us publish. Starting tomorrow, you're going to be picking that final essay that you want to publish. Again, in citation, we're not using that this week. Don't sweat that. You also do not need to, in reasoning, you do not need to have at least one contradictory opinion. Not this week. We will get to that, but not now. Okay, third graders. When you are writing today, I want you to have this checklist out and make sure that you are using it to create the best essay you can. Your writing options for today are work on an opinion paper you started before spring break, use the opinion writing rubric to check an opinion paper that you think is done. And remember, unless you've added those 3 paragraphs in your body, it's not done. Time to revise. And or your third option is to start a new opinion writing. Now, be very clear. If you decide to start a new opinion writing, which is fine, I do know that some of you haven't gotten a lot of practice writing opinions because you came into the videos late. That's okay. Start a new one today if you need to. But just know that you have a published opinion essay due this Friday. So if you start a new one today, it's gonna have to be done by Friday. So if you've been following along with the videos from the beginning, you might not want to start a new opinion essay. All right, third grade, when you are done with your writing, remember that my expectation is that you write for at least 25 minutes today, but my expectation is not that you have to keep at it until you finish a whole opinion essay. Just like we do in school, write for 25 minutes, and then send me a picture of what you've written today. Can't wait to read your great writing. Thanks, third grade. Talk soon.